What a treat to get to watch Creator's first-person view there for just a little bit of time, and we are back to actually jump right in, back into game number 1, because, you know, we're not just going to sit around here and wait for the series to end. We are actually going to jump on in there. I have Artosis, I have Pig, I have Maynard, and what we're going to do is we're going to make all 3 of them cast at the same time. Not all speaking simultaneously at the same time, but we're going to do that. So Pig is going to be our official observer as well.
He's catching more carriers.
And let's jump in, boys.
Oh, man.
The amount of carriers I have watched die in the last couple minutes here. Oh,
it's actually insane. These so if we can hop straight into the game, basically there's been a long drawn-out game. I believe it started with a Nidus Worm. Things have kind of dragged on.
Oh, another one, man. This is just
like
crazy.
That's like the 9th carrier that has been sniped by this squad of Corruptors. They've just been marauding around. Whenever they die to the Stalkers, another 7 or 8 Corruptors join up, and then they find another few carriers. It has been an insane bloodbath. But True doesn't really have a great economy behind this.
True doesn't have a great economy?
Who would have guessed?
Strange set of words there.
You know, watching these Corruptors fly around and just repeatedly kill everything, I feel like this is what people were thinking when Blizzard might have been thinking when they upped the speed of the Corruptor.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the first time I've really seen it working out like that. He's caught like 7 carriers or something.
It's actually insane, but Creator has been so active with the ground army and gets another 17 worker kills, snipes down a base as well. And this is looking like Creator, you know, might not have babysat his carriers, but he has been busy just smashing True's economy to pieces.
True does. How many bases do you have mining? Like just that center one?
Yep, pretty much. I think that's about it. This one on the left went down, so that's all he's got left right now.
His army's not bad, though.
His bank's not impressive, I think, though, for True. Like, if he takes a bad fight, that's going to be GG for the Zerg.
Well, I mean, he can get 6 supply of Zerglings. So, not anymore.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. You are right. Objectively correct.
He could have.
Yeah. This is why you're considered one of the best analysts.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a reason you get the big bucks.
Like, whoa, those birds so quick.
Yeah. What's the upgrade called, Dan?
Grooved spines.
Exactly. Swing and a miss.
I'm like,
those big bucks just diminished.
+1 ranged attack.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, greatest fire picked up there. No more broods. It's a nice little pick off their Creator and a very, cost-efficient thing to do. Just a ball of Stalkers, no big deal.
Meanwhile, those 900 hit point assimilators do finally fall to the onslaught of Broodlords.
900 hit point assimilators. I've never heard them described as such.
Yeah, you know, double
You didn't realize the assimilator is the strongest gas mining structure in Starcraft?
Of course.
This extractor, 500 hit points, but the assimilators, 450, 450? It's crazy, man. Oh, nice of Ducks there. Going to take out 3 of these Tempests. That's a beautiful pickup there for True. And Creator's kind of like not picking away at this army, and he just lost all of his long-range units that can pick at it. With Parasitic Bomb potentially countering Void Rays, there's actually a glimmer of hope here for True in a situation where I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I think when it's like it's super, super late game, it's always about the spellcasters, right? And he has a lot of spellcasters with a lot of energy, so
yeah.
If you can turn energy into damage, then that's going to be the game plan here for True for sure.
Oh, these poor Stalkers.
This is actually...
What is this?
With the amount of transfuses on that Queen, they're never getting up that ramp.
Yeah, man. Look at that. It's like heroic battle over here.
Transfuse for days.
This is my house. You know, the home intruders aren't going to make it in there. Eventually they do. She falls.
Yeah.
That Queen was home alone, man.
But not
Paint bucket fell on those stalkers.
not as good as Macaulay Culkin, unfortunately.
Finally. Oh, another couple of the Ducks come down
What's
here.
the carrier kill count pick?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
We got to check that.
What is the hotkey for
Control
that?
L, right? No?
I don't even know.
I don't know what it is.
Control Shift T or something?
Control Shift T. Yeah, no, it's not that either. Pig.
Drawn a little
Oh, we
arrow there,
accidentally
boys.
drew an
That's-
arrow.
Whoa. We didn't mean to do that.
The observers are just dying inside right now. Like, these guys are idiots. They don't even know the hotkeys. But it looks like True, I think he's lost a lot of those valuable air units now. His Overlord's trying to get out of there.
True is 1 worker.
Where is that? Okay. Oh, no, he's right there. I guess he can
Ready to
rebuild
build
one
an
off the
assimilator.
right.
Built an assimilator. I know it doesn't have 800 hit points, but oh.
I know, man. It's not quite as good as an assimilator, but still. Looks like, you know, where I can see the caustic spray go down. Creator's still got a base mining. That's pretty huge. Even warping in Zealots. Zealots pretty good against Broodlords. I think,
Oh my gosh, he's just going to eliminate him?
Oh,
there we go.
He did it, GG!
And that was just game 1, guys, right there. Wow. Wowzers.
And let's be honest, if Game 1's commentary is anything to go by, we'll skip Game 2 and 3.
That was a crazy game. That was good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually pretty intense. I mean, I think both players are looking pretty tired right now. Obviously, the jet lag starts to set in at a certain point. But
Late in the day as well, like, you know,
yeah.
play a game like that, you got to be exhausted, right?
And, you know, of course, the winner of this will play Scarlet, right, for that qualifying match. So she's just there, no doubt, having a, you know, stretching her legs, kind of going, all right, tire each other out, you know, just work each other down to the bone so I can just finish off the survivor. And looks like Creator there goes for the half jacket takeoff. Not quite the full old school, like, Nada pull the jacket off angrily, but it's something.
All right, well, looking at how that first game played out, are we looking at Creator potentially being able to kind of power on through here, or what do you take away from that game, Dan?
Seems too close to really call, especially since, I mean, we didn't get to see the whole thing, but it seems like early on there was like a failed Nidus, right?
Yes.
So if that's how well True can do in a late macro game that he's not especially known for after his failed aggression,
Right.
I'm actually almost leaning towards True still.
Yeah, True seems to be rounding out his play a little bit more. I mean, of course, you know, we always knew he can macro, but we always did give him more props for those more aggressive plays.
Well, after game one, like, the series is very hard to predict. But I think whoever wins this series is going to be stopped next series, unfortunately.
All right. Well,
But I have that opinion. I just think Scarlet is much stronger than either of these players.
We'll find out in a few moments. We're not going to get any more trio commentaries, unfortunately. That was your slice for today. Maybe we'll get some more of that in tomorrow. Who knows? For now, though, we're going to go to an actual caster team. No disrespect, gentlemen. And
Disrespect massively
game number
taken.
2.
Says the
Run
host.
away, please. Go away.
Thank you very much, guys. Great casting. I enjoyed it.
No, I thought it was good, and I'm happy that we got to show the end there as well. I want to apologize on behalf of James. My man was just following instruction, guys. The passion is still there for good old Kalaris, I guarantee you, guys.
Is it, though?
No, there are people yelling in his ear, throw it to a break, and we're giving him a hard time.
He's in charge. If he said we stay on, we would have stayed on. That's all I'm saying.
They would just cut him off, and he would look like a bad host. So, no, James is doing an awesome job. We're having lots of fun over here. Hopefully, you guys at home as well. And that first game, though, I actually kind of thought, isn't it supposed to be over after a failed Nidus Queen? Like, what was that?
I thought so, but True really came back into it somehow. Creator able to salvage the game eventually and win a base trade. Might have been able to win the fight, but he was like, why risk it? His army is so immobile anyway. But here we are, map number 2. We're going to be playing on Blackpink and starting in the top right-hand side of the map, playing for Team Psystorm Gaming. It is True.
Actually looked quite good in that late game there. He really built up a monstrous army, and those Corruptors were doing some serious work. Let's see how this game will play out on Blackpink as we're looking at the main base of the man who got second at BWC in 2012. It's Creator. Those were the days, Todd, where we had one big Protoss party in the playoffs and everybody forgated each other in China.
The Miss Forcefield.
Oh, Rain, no! Still makes me cry every time I see it. Cloud Kingdom, never forget. Ripping pepperonis.
And Scarlet eagerly waiting here for the winner of this in a very important qualifying match that's going to be played right after this matchup there. You know, I'm sure do you think Scarlet has a preference as to...
I mean, it was quite funny, actually. This is why I giggled on the cast earlier. Because Scarlet just said that he really prefers to play against True, because he has the feeling that Creator kind of knows how he plays, and he feels it would be more tricky. And then Kalaris asks the question, and then Maynard is disagreeing with Scarlet about who he would prefer to play, which I just thought was really funny. It's like, man, these casters, we really got one hell of an ego. We're disagreeing with what the player wishes for themselves.
We know better, you know? Like,
yeah, that's amazing.
We know them better than they know themselves.
Yeah. No, I believe Scarlet when she says... I was surprised by the answer, though. I'll give Maynard that. I actually would have expected her to prefer to play against Creator, because her ZVP has been looking absolutely fantastic lately, and I feel there's only so many things that Creator could do in a best of 3, and True in a best of 3 just seems scary to me, but I mean, I can't really disagree with Scarlet, her preference.
Not gonna go full Maynard on this one. Not quite.
I loved it, though. That was a little bit of esports history for me there.
Creator is pretty good at massing Immortals and doing very well against ground armies, apparently, so True might have to play differently. If this guy likes Immortals a little bit too much, maybe go for some Mutas. Then again, everybody got so much better against Mutalisks nowadays, whether it's with Archons or grabbing some Phoenixes of the Stargate that you usually have, and which is going to be there once again here in this game. Creator, I have to say, he looked pretty good. Like, he's, in a way, kind of like a shadow of his former self, where he used to be one of the absolute best Protosses in the world. I wouldn't put him as high up there as he used to be, and to see him play as well as he has been here in this tournament is quite nice, I would say. But it's, I mean, remember, like, this is only round of 76 right now, like, and he needs to beat True here, and then he would need to be Scarlet after that to be able to advance into the main tournament.
I agree with you. He's definitely had a couple of good victories, and here he is once again being up 1-0. But at the end of the day, Todd, if he doesn't make it into the group stage, isn't it like sort of another disappointing performance for him? I mean, that sounds really harsh, guys, and I don't really mean it like that. But he comes from South Korea. He is a former superstar. I mean, he made it to the finals of BWC in 2012. That was the BlizzCon of that year. Technically, it replaced BlizzCon for that year. And yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he's good. But he's not the guy that we expect to make it to the finals of this World Championship. If he somehow does, that would be an amazing Cinderella story for him.
Oh yeah, for sure, the resurgence here of the young player. Creator used to be my hero in PvT in particular. Wings of Liberty, you know, Double Forge and all that. Obviously the game has changed a lot since then. He's still training hard. He's still relevant. You know, he's one of those good players, just not quite top, not quite up there. But I'm sure that's why he's stuck around for so long. That's because he wants to regain some of that superb, as they say. I mean, become one of the best again.
From his games against Guru, even though I felt game number 2 felt a little bit off, but maybe he was just surprised by the way that Guru is playing. Obviously, he's probably not super familiar with Guru, so I can understand you get lost sometimes in a game. Game 3, however, on Blackpink, I felt that Creator looked really good with that mass Immortal army. He did a really good job in splitting up his units as well. Every now and then, a couple of units were a little bit out of position, but if you have that many Immortals, you have that many Storms, and you know your opponent is not tacking up, there's only one thing you need to do. You say it all the time. You just survive, and at one point you've got 200 supply of Storm Immortals. Well, good luck, Hydra Link Bane. What you do? You do nothing.
I thought you were going to say you look at the supply. I was like, that's really not going to help. You know, it's not a strategy. Like, you can look at it, but yeah, 3 gases being taken right now for Creator. A lot of gateways and glaives, so he might want to be getting aggressive here in a second against a True who's known for being aggressive himself, and I think that Creator is hoping to catch him off guard at a time where True might be overdroning a little bit too much. I feel like this can really come back to bite him in the butt here if obviously True somehow sees this coming and starts making a lot of units, because usually you don't have to push this guy too much for him to make units, and right now he's already making mass links. Oh, these things are going to get crazy there in that map number 2.
This is going to be very tough for Creator if he ends up warping in like 12 or 14 adepts with the Baneling Nest already on the way, as our observer showed us. It's about to finish up. It's going to be +1 links as well with just a couple of Banelings. I have a hard time imagining that Creator will get a lot done. I think the best thing that Creator could hope for, Todd, is Warp Prism in the main and a couple of adepts just shading via the ground to the other side of the map. I think that's the best thing he could hope for. But he's not going to be able to just fight straight up with all these... Ooh, misshade there. Shaded his adepts back.
What did True see?
True saw adepts.
For this?
I mean...
No, I mean, like, did you see something in the base of Creator? Or
True
like
just wanted to make a lot of units. He probably wanted to overrun the 3rd base if Creator would be greedy. And instead he's like, cool, you're being very aggressive to me. That means that all my units are going to have a much bigger purpose.
Oh, if Creator shades into these Banelings here, this would be a disaster. Does he see these units? He saw some of them. He's still going to shade forward, chooses to split some of these adepts, but there's so many units for True, who's been making them for the last few minutes already, almost as if he was waiting for this attack to come. And so many links are going to be made off the back of this. He doesn't lose a single drone, kills a lot of probes here already across the map. He's trying to threaten and burst into that wall off at the natural.
This is beautiful play by True. He was super ready for this, and at the same time he's also counterattacking. He did a bunch of economic damage. Creator knows that he is all in. He pretty much needs to win. True is actually just not respecting these adepts at all, Todd. He's like, nope, I'm going to run to your side of the map. I'm going to kill your cybernetic score. It's very tough to make adepts without a cybernetic score, Todd.
The floodgates are open, Roddy, and those links are going to get right in there as the Banelings will follow them as well. One single pylon is powering these 2 gateways. The other front Banelings trying to get in there. One Zealot buys a little bit of time, but Creator is lacking some warp-ins here to make sure he can defend against this, and True gets the equalizer here with a fantastic counter-attack.
Yeah, the counter-attack was perfect, the defense was perfect, but I'm gonna go back a little bit and agree with everything you said. Like, is this the type of strategy you want to do against somebody who loves to make a bunch of units anyway? He really doesn't need to see much to make those 22 links.
Actually, he saw nothing there. It was like completely random.
I actually think that he wanted to be aggressive, and then he's like, oh cool, you're going to be aggressive, we're going to fight on my side of the map with queens and with creep, I'll take it.
And we've seen this so many times, like players choosing to take that risk, and the one time that they do it, if they get a little bit unfortunate, it's just an almost sure map loss. It kind of happened recently as well. I think it might have been U-Thermal against Bly, where U-Thermal tried to proxy Bly, and Bly was like with Ravagers countering across the map and with a big smile on his face. He's like, oh yeah, like, I'm not the guy you want to do this against. You want to do this against the standard Zergs that love to drone up, not against me. I'll counter-attack and I'll kill you. These chaotic games are where I thrive. And that's really the case for True as well.
And just to defend Creator here a little bit, guys, if you guys wonder, like, well, Creator is really good, why would he do that against True? Sometimes you just have a feeling that your opponent is going to play a certain style, and if, let's say, True would have skipped the Baneling Nest and skipped the Roach Warren, something he absolutely does a couple times, and he just tries to rush up to Hydra Ling, a build that he also quite loves, of, let's say, 52, 53 drones, not that good anymore in the current patch, but maybe Creator somehow had a feeling that True was going to do that. Then, obviously, if you show up with 16 adepts with Resonating Glaives, you're going to do a tremendous amount of damage. So maybe that's what Creator was hoping for. Unfortunately for him, that was not what he's going up against.
It's not that unusual, I would say, for Creator to go for this kind of build. Like, he's always been that one guy that loves to throw in some aggressive builds here and there. You know, once upon a time, I played against Creator in the Code A qualifiers in Korea. I got him round 1. Cool. By luck. Literally the best player in the whole qualifier. And on Daybreak, he went for DTs. You know, the old times, and which back then was very unconventional. It was a big risk. If somebody went for a robo and you went for DTs and he was defended, you were in big trouble.
Dark Shrines were expensive back then.
I didn't go for a robo, by the way. So he knows how to take risks here and there, and sometimes it pays off, but this time it definitely did not pay off.
And since that day, you always made a robo, didn't you?
Yeah, and nobody ever went DTs ever again.
You're still waiting for that one moment someone shows up with 3 DTs. You're like, ha! Got you! You dropped the perfect force fields on the ramp and you got him in the middle.
I would miss the force field and somehow waste the game away.
No, you would kill the DTs in offensive GG. You're like, I've been waiting for this 4 years. So we're getting ready for game number 3 in our second last best of 3 of the day. It's been a very long first day here at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, but Todd, I loved it. I must say, especially our first qualifier, we had some bizarre games in that one. Those PVTs, they were mental.
Yeah, so have been those PVZs, and love the games that we saw today here. We've got some more games coming your way here before we wrap up. We wrap it up with day 1. Let's see which one of these two here can get the win. Starting in the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing as the Blue Zerg, it is Sidestorm Gaming's True.
I see True, I see Catalyst, feeling a cheeky link flood.
With Queens?
No, no. Just like break down the front, drop in the main. Over here on the left top side, we're looking in the main base of the Jin Air Green Winged Sproutals. It is Creator.
True, definitely one of the more colorful personalities that we have in Starcraft 2. Once upon a time in an interview, he was asked why he was making so many queens, and he said because they are sexy. I like to attack with them.
So he's gonna go hatch, and then he's gonna proxy hatch, maybe slow link queen, or I don't think you can build roaches if you have 2 hatcheries. So I think maybe he's gonna try to break down the front. He's gonna build a hatch. No, that's too far away if he wants to run with spines.
He'd be selling this very well because he started the hatchery on his natural. You know, if Creator sees that, it's almost as if he's not going to check for a spawning pool. Whereas if Creator actually does and realizes what's happening, it's very bad for True. So we'll see here that probe, how much it scouts.
Whoa,
oh, okay.
Hatch block.
This is sick. What is Creator supposed to do? He pulls probes immediately.
Yeah.
4 in total. I mean, that's not going to do that much damage to this. I guess he can chrono boost out a Zealot, but it's just already been swanning. Look at the minerals here of Creator.
It is very annoying, but at the same time, this is also something that costs True quite a bit of money, right? Like, this is one of these moments where you absolutely have to deal with it, but at the same time, you shouldn't stress yourself out too much. This is not free for True, but you need to make sure this hatchery doesn't finish up, because if it does finish up, then A, you have to chase Zerglings around, and B, there's a good chance a queen pops out, and if it drops a creep to him, and well thought, you're never going to expect.
Yeah, it's going to be hard.
I like the way he's dealing with this, though.
Yeah.
It's very clean.
Pull the exact right amount of workers here to make sure you're going to deal with this nicely. True being a little bit stubborn here, starting an Evo, but this is going to be pushed back finally as Creator will be able to start
Take the gas.
Nexus here in a second.
Creator's like, no, you're not going to take my gas as well. Even though with a Zealot, I don't think it would bother him too much, but he has too many probes right now for one base, so he obviously wants to take that gas. I think Creator handled that more than fine.
Yeah, the thing is, he's already kind of like out of his comfort zone of playing a normal game, right? Just because the Nexus is so delayed.
He's gonna get
oh
the
my god!
GG.
That happened.
GG. I'd leave. I'd be so mad though. I mean,
Slammed cable. Somehow the Ethernet cable pops out of your computer.
that's 2 drones already down, and obviously a lot of lost potential mining time with one of those early drones for True. Now, the one thing that he did do is delay the Nexus, but because of that, Creator also had a slightly faster cybernetic score, slightly faster gas income. So these Stargates are going to be even a little, or Stargate, excuse me, is going to be a little bit faster than it normally is. I don't know, I'm a little bit worried for True, especially if he doesn't get a Spore Crawler in time. Where do you think he takes it from here, Todd? A normal game? I don't know. I mean,
It's true, man.
Yeah.
I don't think a normal game ever is on the menu for him, but then again, it can be tricky sometimes. He can go for like Hive and do well in it.
I think you can let this Shade finish though, because the Zergling speed is going to be quite late, and Creator feels the same way, but he does get himself trapped almost immediately, which makes me a little bit sad, because these are slow Zerglings, and against slow Zerglings there really was more potential for these 2 adepts. I mean, it wasn't nothing that they got done here. Did they get 3 drones? It's not bad. But I feel like it could have been a lot worse.
For sure. If he shaded really inside of those middle minerals, he could have shaded away after and prevented more mining time. Now kind of got surrounded. But yeah, Creator going to be pushing by that one Overlord there, and then from there, that's when he decides what he goes into exactly. We saw Creator get very aggressive in game number 2, and True being completely ready for it, which seemed almost lucky in a way, so to speak, quote unquote. But Creator, it's still the same result for him, right? Where he has to think, does he go on the aggression and take the risk once more, or does he play a little bit more standard? I feel like the better choice would definitely be to take a 3rd base, build up his Immortal count, and he's been really good with big Immortal armies and High Templars in dealing with the ground army that Zerg goes for.
Yeah, that is absolutely what Creator has impressed me the most today. Not necessarily early game or super late game when it came to like his air control. I wasn't blown out of the water, but when it came to that mid phase, when it came to him splitting up his army, when it came to him relying on those Immortals, I actually felt that's where he shined the most in this matchup. But let's see, the first Phoenix always gives me a small idea that we might see something cheesy, but at the same time, True also knows this, so maybe Creator is just trying to sell the idea that he's trying to do something cheesy. Instead, thought we've got a 2nd Stargate, are we going to see some +1 air weapons? But why is he making another Oracle then? Do you think he's not going to go Mass Oracle, right? Nobody does Mass Oracle in 2018.
Has still does, I hear. Rumors of a legend somewhere in Taiwan.
Oh my god, he's going to go Mass Oracle. I haven't seen this in 5 months, Todd.
Maybe it's the perfect time to bring it back. I mean, True loves to make ground units and attack. Sometimes he even from their all-ins.
Or it's the perfect way to throw a game where you had an excellent start.
That's true, but... Yeah, I feel like he would take really... Like maybe a Queen drop with a massive attack would be dangerous now.
Yeah,
but I think
really
Creator is
dangerous.
kind of reading that this is not happening right now.
I mean, it's going to be very hard for True to scout this, of course, guys, unless somehow Lynx can make their way into the main base. But Overlords have been picked off because of this Phoenix. So this is something that's very tough to scout for True. True is making a lot of Lynx, and Lynx obviously not super good against Oracles. But sometimes it can be very annoying, because every time you have to activate Pulsar Beam, it drains your energy. And at one point, obviously, True is not going to stand there and fight below Oracles. So even though Oracles are potentially really good, you have to be careful with how you activate your attack animation, as obviously Oracles run on energy.
If True had actually... He already has the Evo, by the way. If he had gone for Pneumatized Carapace and dropped Queens and attacked with this, he might have been able to do very well.
I mean, he's saving up a lot of Oracles. He's going to be forced to at least reveal something. I mean, he's just showing his slow gateway units. Obviously, Todd, if 8 Oracles fly to the other side of the map, True's going to be in trouble, right? Like, he doesn't have 2 Spores per base. Again, in the old days, every Zerg knew what you had to do against this. That is 2 Spore Crawlers per base, and preferably 2 Queens per base as well. Okay, now... Ooh, did he see them? Let's see. Are we going to see Spore Crawlers on the production tab or not? I'm surprised.
I mean, they wouldn't finish on time anyway. These Oracles are going to be pretty fast across the map. There is one of them in the natural, one in the main base. The Queens are going to have to be in the right location. Seeing this is key here right now for True. He sees it,
Hey, the
headed for the
counterattack-
main base.
The counterattack is quite smart though. I mean, those are Zerglings with +1 upgrades. I'm not sure if Creator has enough. One queen does get sniped
Oh, the
immediately.
Phoenix can pick up one of the queens, and he's gonna do just that here as the Spore will fall very rapidly behind this. One of the Oracle falls as well. Is there enough leftover for Creator to burst through the second base? He's invested so much into these Oracles.
I don't like this though. I really don't like this at all for Creator. I mean, yes, he finally gets the Spore Crawlers, but he lost a lot of energy. Does he have an answer against the Lynx? Okay, apparently the Lynx have not been doing anything. Oh, they're morphing into Banelings.
They might be about to be. That is so many Banelings that are about to burst into that natural base of Creator. He must be getting ready right now with more units.
Does he have enough? I mean, he was getting a cannon. He's got a shield battery as well. All those units are kind of clumped up, though. Look at that Oracle putting in work. Where the Baneling's going to go? True is going to go for it. He is going to find his way into the main base. How much damage can True do? He needs to do quite a bit, obviously, after losing all those drones at home. And he's already doing a lot of damage, Todd.
Yeah, runs into the main base with some links, with some into the natural as well. He needs to kill as many probes as he can. True's already ahead on the worker count, but he wants to get even further ahead here. Because this, I don't think, will be enough damage. He goes for a Spire behind this.
What a bizarre play against double Stargate, but let's see if it works out. Is he going to go Corruptus? Or?
And that random vintage cannon, by the way, on the third base. Hadn't seen one of these in a while.
I like the idea of True counterattacking. I just wish he would have done it a tiny bit sooner, but maybe he didn't have the resources, because obviously he was forced. Oh, those Lynx are so annoying.
It's so risky to go for Spire. There is 2 Stargates, but I think he realized that Creator was going to go for Mass Immortals.
Oh my god.
If he gets to a big mute account before Creator realizes what's happening, this could be so dangerous here. This might be the winning move from True.
I mean, Creator is probably wondering as well, what on earth is True doing? Creator lost so many probes at home though, Johan. It's so tough for Protoss to bounce back after you lose 20 probes, and Creator doesn't really have the infrastructure that Protoss Reams are made of. As you can see, he's only now adding the Twilight Council.
How many mutas is he going to make? Like, does he wait until he has more gas?
I think he should wait. I think you want to get
until
at least
9?
Yeah.
Usually that's the number, right?
9, 10, 11. I wouldn't go with 6 or 7, but he's already at 8 at this point, so maybe you can just start making them and start hunting down Oracles as well.
Yeah. Even just fly into the probe line. Start wrecking those mineral
more.
lines. If you kill like 20 more probes, then I think Creator is just in too much trouble. It's funny, by the way, how True is like, okay, you want to go for Immortals? I'll just make Ling and Mutas. A composition that usually would never work. Creator makes double Twilight Council here.
Oh my
I think
God.
he's starting to fall apart a little bit.
Yeah, that's often what happens against Zergling one-buys though, right? Like Lynx are so fast and slow, and Protoss units, if you don't have charge and stuff, they're all a little bit slow.
12 Mutas, Brody, against no Phoenixes being made right now. True, he's even baiting the army of Creator on this side of the map, making him use force fields. That means there's not going to be any hallucinated Phoenix to scout these Mutas. He's going to be completely caught off guard. Oh my God.
All right,
True
well,
is a genius.
Hopefully this Oracle for Creator is going to see it, but nope, still nothing. If these Mutas jump on top of the pylons in the main base, Todd, what if he unpowers the Stargates? What are you going to do? Warp in Stalkers with +1 but no blink? Ay, ay, ay. I don't like this at all for Creator. He's going to start Phoenix production right now. He cancels the Robo Bay as he realizes he doesn't need that. True's doing a lot of damage, but I'd like to see him go for those pylons, Todd.
Yeah, but those probes are going to die so rapidly. 2 more Stargates start here from Creator.
Triple Stargate with 34 workers? That's Neil.
Quadruple, actually. He's already got 2,
Yeah.
yeah. What's...
Okay, maybe...
I guess he knew these were going to be
Yeah.
unpowered, and he realized that Stalkers can't win against these. So I guess for now, Creator evacuates his bases. I mean, this full desperation mode at this stage. Keep in mind, in the meantime, True is good enough to start more bases and build up his economy.
What about this counter though of Creator? That's a relatively fierce Protoss army, right? I don't think there are any defensive Banelings. There are a lot of Mutas though.
And the other Mutas are going to fly back. True is fully committing on mass Mutas here. Even if Creator gets a bunch of Phoenixes, there's going to be way too many Mutas for him to handle.
Oh my god, these Immortals are not going to stand a chance. You cannot lose all these units, Creator, because then you're just going to die against Zerglings at home, right? Maybe he feels like he needs to do this to buy time.
Oh, he catches the Stalkers in the middle of the map. True, a master at these chaotic games, and Creator is just falling apart and losing everything right now. The perfect defense will be there from True, and Creator he's holding his head right now. I think he's realizing that this is over. His Intel Extreme Masters Katowice World Championship has come to an end. GG. Wow.
What a game. What a game. What a way to unfold this series. I mean, that's the most True series that I've ever seen. We've seen Queen Niduses. We saw just a little bit of everything. We saw a Baneling boss here in the end. We saw a proxy hatch. That Muta switch was brilliant. The execution was even better.
And his face says it all. He feels bad for Creator, but he's quite proud with himself, I think, at the same time. That was amazing. These transitions, absolutely masterful every single time. Not what creator expected, and completely caught me off guard with these Mutalisks.
Esports can be brutal, Todd. That's going to be it for us, guys. That was the second last best of 3 of the day. This, of course, means that True is moving on, and he will go up against Scarlet in the final series of the day. For now, we're going to check in with the boys at the desk.
That we are. Powerful scenes here, unfortunately, for Creator. Bombs out of the tournament in the very last moments, really, down in the lower bracket. Unable to get to that qualifying match, and now we will have True advancing on to play against Scala. One thing's for sure, though, looking at that series, jet lag is a powerful thing when it comes to how crazy that series played out. Speaking of jet lag, I have 3 people that are loving it at the moment. We do have Mr. Artosis, Pig, and Maynard joining us here. It's been a long trip for you guys. It's been a long trip for our South Korean representatives as well, and that was a crazy, crazy series.
It was a crazy series.
Yes,
there's no doubt about that. Some of the moves a little bit questionable there at the end. You know, killing spores, kill 4 spores or all the drones. He went with spores. But like you say, this is a long day. These guys have been playing all day, practicing all day. People are jet lagged. It's a real thing. But the thing is, they're both kind of on the schedule, right? But here, True is you get into these chaotic games, and that's
his stomping grounds.
Yeah,
that's where he lives. I mean, he bought a house in that boulevard. Like he's
yeah, he's invested, man. Like he owns like 3 blocks.
I mean, realistically, you're in game 3 as a Protoss player, and you don't see the Mutalisks until they're in your mineral line.
Ooh,
yeah. Oh man, like the saddest production tab as well for a Protoss player. There's like a robotic support bay, a warp prism, an immortal, and a +2 ground upgrade, and that's all of his money. And you're like, none of those shoot up. It's like, oh, the mutas go straight to the Stargates as well, of course. And you're like, what do you do, man? That's just checkmate.
It was. And he GG'd, and he was out. Right. And that means True versus Scarlet.
That's right. Another Zerg versus Zerg to round things out. Let's check in with the bracket and get you up to date with how things have gone, as we do have Solar and Serral sitting up in the upper bracket. They have qualified for the round of 24. Moving down, another Zerg will prevail. It's been a day of Terrans and a day of Zergs. True and Scarlet will play against one another. It's a fixture that, to be honest, would not be unfamiliar with the kind of territories of the WCS circuit that we've had throughout 2017, 2018. What are we making, guys? Before we go there, of course, of that ZVZ. Scarlet, hopes looking high potentially?
Yeah, she's the favorite. I mean, her ZVZ lately has been the best. Like, only Guru and Namshar have taken ZVZs off of her in the last months.
I mean, she said in an interview as well that, you know, ZVZ in a best of 3 is, you know, can be weird. It's a matchup that thankfully, you know, for her, with this group, she's getting a little bit more confident in. She said that she's like, you know, understanding the matchup a little bit more. She knows what she knows the timings a little bit more. She knows what she's looking for a little bit more, which is, you know, all she needs. Well,
we can try and break it down a little bit more later on. Just before we get there, of course, we're going to take a short break here, probably the final break of the tournament, unless some crazy things happen. And when we return, our final series of the day, as we're going to have a Zerg versus Zerg to find out who moves on to the round of 24.